What's up, fams? EEPMON here, and you are tuned in to the Late Night Channel Eps, episode 49. I cannot believe it. I've been doing it for 49 days in a row. Let's keep it coming. Well, July 1st, folks, is Canada's national birthday, Canada Day. And me being based in Ottawa, Ontario, our nation's capital, we have quite a, let's just say, pretty much bigger festivities here in the city, nation's capital, I would say, in comparison to other cities across Canada, simply because this is our government, our HQ, national institutions. So we do have a bit of a perk in regards to putting more celebrations here in the city. And it was a lot of people. Was it just me? Is it just me, or like the previous years? Those who are from Ottawa, Gatineau region, you can comment if you like. Please subscribe, by the way. But is it just me? Like last year, there wasn't as many people, and the year before clearly was not as many people. And then, of course, the 2 years or 3 years before that is like 3 years back. It's like a pandemic. So, but this year, 2024, it was packed. Downtown Ottawa, it was packed. Just like the good old days. Everyone was wearing red. I was wearing red, but clearly I'm just not wearing red now. My chair's red. My vacuum's red. Check it out. See, I got some red going on here, boys. Bossing up, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so like, it was a lot of people. And I really wanted to go to the National Arts Center because they've got the free program, but I underestimated how many people were in downtown. It was packed, and not only that, it's like trying to get the free tickets. It was like literally like that was too late. It was too late. Like they started at 12 p.m. They opened the tickets, and then the event starts at 2:30. But like literally, like I just thought, yeah, well, maybe like by 1:30 I should still be able to get it, but no, I was too late. So next time I have to make sure that I gotta get there at 12 on the dot. But I was conflicted because I just so happened to witness. If you go to my Instagram stories, I post a lot of videos because right by my window I could see the Royal Canadian Air Force. They had a whole bunch of like planes flying right by me. Like I could see it. I could zoom in. Like I don't need to zoom too far. Like they were literally above me. These planes are so impressive. So I had some really great. I had like the VIP view from my window, just looking at these planes going by because Parliament is not so far off. And I guess to conclude their aviation just across the city, they would fly past Parliament as kind of like a final salute. So yeah, that was cool. RCAF, salute to you guys. Thank you for your service. July 1st also, folks, is something that's not really talked about, but I believe it should. It was a very dark time in Canadian history, and as you maybe some of them know, during Asian Heritage Month, I created a mural for the Canadian Museum of History to address the Chinese Exclusion Act of July 1st, 1923. It was a dark time, and it was a discriminating act that prevented people from Chinese origin to specifically targeted Chinese individuals from coming to Canada. Everyone else is welcome from all the world. But they say, and it's true, it is fact, that we were the most extremely documented people in Canada. We all had these things called CI certificates, so Chinese immigration certificates, and basically labeled Chinese immigrants like the type of certificate you got. The immigrants, like, you could only do certain type of jobs or tasks, or and then there's these additional taxes that you had to pay because you were Chinese. A very dark time. And then I'm no expert, of course, but I had the honor and a privilege to create the mural, which is still at the Canadian Museum of History. So do check it out if you're so happen to be around there. Uh, and yeah, it was quite uh, alarming, enlightening, and we would only read this in public school, like in the textbooks, but not about like very very subtle, like a little bit, very very like almost like I don't even remember, like probably like even like maybe one page at most to address about that in like our history classes, but like otherwise, it was pretty much silent. Um, and when I launched a mural at the Canadian Museum of History, they brought in special guests from the Chinese Canadian Museum over in Vancouver to talk about the for Asian Heritage Month, the Chinese Exclusion Act. It was a very again, I have it on my website. Go to EEPMON.com. You can see some of the photos I posted. But it was a very, it's almost like something that we like a lot of people don't want to talk too much about it or just bring these emotions out. But I do believe that it needs to be, we need to communicate this. We need to bring it to the forefront, and that we should also not forget about that particular dark time. And we need to keep this story and we need to keep it keep that dialogue. When I did the mural, we did, and it was incredible. Like they say that art brings people together and closure. It absolutely does. When I did the mural, okay, and then we all like when we did the pan, it was during that launch, and we all got together, cross generational Chinese people of origin, standing from a mural, cross generations. Okay, uh, my parents were there. It was amazing. It was like coming together to bring closure, to heal, build understanding, also express our opinions and our views and emotional views. That's important to really get it out there. And we have to move forward together in the process of healing, in process of healing and progress. And that's why I think what Canada is for me at the end of the day is like, I know that there are probably some of my peers who may not celebrate this national day, but I do feel that there are reasons to celebrate, folks. At the end of the day, look, like when you think about it, I don't know, call me brainwashed, I don't know, but like compared to other countries, we have it pretty good. Okay, we have it pretty good. I've been to some places, folks, that have no disregard to human respect, and let's just say that it's there are reasons why we have certain regulations and procedures to avoid, um, as simple as like, for example, like as simple as like why we have these like crazy regulations about health and safety, for example. We take it for granted, health and safety, of course. But other places, you lose a hand, lose an arm, it's over. Lose both arms, you're the street. It's like we at least like we have these sort of systems, right? Which I believe is important. I don't want to get too morbid, but I'm like saying like we, despite the 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 very dark, very very dark history, we as Canadians we have the ability to bring these conversations forward, which I believe we are, right? Asian Heritage Month, reconciliation. Like we have we can discuss these. We can discuss these. Just at least from my understanding, the way that our country is a democratic country. Of course, we can speak our mind, our opinions, our views. I dare say, majority of the world don't do that. You speak your views, dead, dead, or you're like, you disappear. Okay, you disappear, and no one's going to know about it, and no one's going to care, because all they care about is like themselves and making sure that they don't disappear. So like, so it's a celebration, folks. You know, we could do better. Of course, we could do better, and we have the capabilities. I think as Canadians, we have the capability to show the world about us being diverse, place of strong communities, resilience, and the fact that we are I'll keep on, I know it's a buzzword, but the mosaic of this is of this country, the makeup of this country is the strength, is the power, is part of the, I don't know, it's like soft power, hard power diplomacy. I don't know what you want to call it, but I think we have the right ingredients to really show the world the promise of what humanity stands for. We're not perfect, and we're not. Absolutely not. Okay? We're not. Far from it. But we have the right ingredients to move and show the world what we're capable of. Nothing's perfect. Okay? Nothing's perfect. So as an artist, I'm an artist, okay? I'm a digital artist. I find myself where a lot of my peers would go to the bigger cities because, of course, the jobs are that, right? There's the creative industries jobs, advertising agencies, tech sector, high tech sector, you name it, right? But I find myself as a creator, I stayed in Ottawa. It's my birthplace. I'm born and raised here, folks. It's my stomping grounds. You know what I'm saying? But not only am I an artist, but I guess maybe because I'm with the federal government. I'm right next door. We're like arm's length. We're here. Politics, Ottawa. That I began to be part of governmental affairs, programs. May not necessarily be directly, but for example, back in 2017 to 2021, I was elected to be on the Canadian Museum Association's board of directors, and through that world, and I think it's because I was noticed from one of my I did a talk, a design talk or creative industry talk, and then I was someone noticed was inspired by what I had to present, and through that dialogue, and guys, remember I told you, as a creative entrepreneur, like networking is very important in this day and age. You can't just create great art. Great art. Greg's great. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the networking and ability to communicate, that I believe is like at least half the battle, if not more. Like 80% is really about honing your craft and really extending your reach through networking. I would say 20% is your creativity. You can be very good. I'm not saying you're not good. I mean, you got to be great too. But yeah, it just goes to show marketing, networking, marketing, they go hand in hand. Okay, so I digressed. I'm digressing about what was I talking about, folks? Hold on one second. All right, we're back. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. I was on the Canadian Museum Association. Through my connections, I was part of the GLAM Summit, which represents galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. It's a collaboration between the Canadian Museum Association with Library and Archives Canada. And I was on a working group, so I start to like be involved with Library and Archives Canada. It's a government organization, and that holds the archives of culture of our Canadian heritage, right? Of course, speaking of Canadian Heritage, Department of Canadian Heritage, right? They're all tied together. Library Archives Canada, they talk to Canadian Heritage, they talk to Museum Association, talk to museums, talk to galleries. So I start to develop the cultural arm of the federal government. And it's true, because I was an artist, I create digital art, but here I was, meeting people and involved with their conferences. I even was on the working group for the GLAM Summit to be a panel, to actually moderate a panel. I believe I was at the third GLAM Summit, and it was about the technology component of digital transformation and technology of of how galleries and libraries, archives and museums can leverage such tools. This was way before we had the whole discussion about artificial intelligence and blockchain or whatever kind of stuff. This stuff was like we were doing this GLAM stuff. I think it was 2018 that we did that, or was it 2019? But yeah, so anyway, back being in Ottawa gave me that access to the world, and but of course, as a creative entrepreneur, I need being in Ottawa as well forced me. Well, maybe forced back. Actually, I want to do it, but like in order to extend and expand my network, I have to travel the world. I have to go to the places that I think that my energy aligns with. So what did I do? I went to New York. I went to, besides Toronto, Vancouver, and within Canada, I went to New York. I went to Los Angeles. I went to Tokyo. I went to Shanghai. I went to like Hong Kong, like the creative industries in Asia, right? And why did I go to Japan? Because who doesn't like Japan, folks? It's awesome. Come on. It's got anime, Nintendo, Of course, it was like anime and Nintendo that first drew me in. That's Japan's soft power diplomacy, man. That's soft power from Japan. Their anime, their manga, their export strategy with that, billions of dollars. They're crazy. They know how to really, and they really know how to market themselves. And they had the whole Cool Japan initiative, and they had what was once manga was really, or anime and manga was really a niche thing at the time, but now it has proliferated and through video games, Dragon Ball, all these things, like they export that stuff over to North America. So the millennials, Gen Zs, we're all growing up and we're like, we grew up to this stuff. So of course we love anything that's like anime. Of course, I want to go to Japan and like, eat some like great sushi and tempura and like udon and all that. That's soft power. So that's what, if there's anything that I'm very impressed with is how Japan does it. Anyway, digressing again. So of course I go back to Japan, build the relationships there, and and keep in touch, and then of course not everything is always set in stone, like opportunities don't knock on your door immediately when you go and network, but you don't. You got to keep on going, persevere, repetition. It's really about, how do I say it? It's not, you got to keep on going. You can't just stop and say, oh, I expect, and give up right away. It doesn't work like that. Reality does not work like that. So, but yeah, so like, sir, I guess like that's my sort of world with, well, I really digressed a lot. So how does it come back to Canada? Well, it goes back to the fact that I feel that because I have seem to be able to leverage the private industry, creative industry, brands, multinational brands. EEPMON is, I'm a, I'm not, I'm just me. It's my company. It's myself. It's an artist. And then I'm also involved with academia, industry, and like the public sector, government. I seem to be able to balance or have access to a bridge between these two worlds, as indicated by my creative industries trade mission, minister led by Minister Ng to Japan. And also, in 2018, I went on the Creative Industries Trade Mission, the inaugural Creative Industries Trade Mission that was spearheaded by Canadian Heritage. See all the connection I'm talking about? Canadian Heritage. And that was then Minister Joly was the Minister of Canadian Heritage at the time. So, like, all these things. I feel that I have, how does it relate to Canada Day? Is like, I feel like that is, if I may say, an example that this sort of, how do I say, holistic pathways that I have serendipitously, maybe strategically, but serendipitously at most, to build these bridges, connections between the federal, provincial, municipal, nonprofit, private industry, in many different industries: fashion industry, video game industry, comic industry, digital art, NFTs, Web3, blockchain. Like, I'm in these worlds, but I think that this is very representative of why I talk about what makes us Canadian. You know what I'm saying? Like, Canada, I think, in a way, is set up to embellish people to have that ability to do this. Like, I don't think that, I'm not sure if other countries would be as, open. See, it is this idea, like, my access, it's open. It's free in this sense to be in this sort of osmosis or abstract or holistic connections. This is what I think is a key strength of being Canadian, I think. If you so choose to go that route, the option is there for you. If you choose to go there. I mean, we have the choice to do absolutely nothing either. But it's there. And I think that goal is, it's more visible, I think, here. Visible meaning it is more, it's still pretty hard to still hard to notice, but it's more accessible, more of a reality here than, let's say, somewhere else where where other nations would never want to talk to, would never want to affiliate with this local communities. Just government. It's like, like, they don't want to do anything with really don't, depends how corrupt they are, that kind of thing. But I digress again. But so I think that what I'm touching upon is the fact that's the fabric of what that mosaic, or this diversity of what makes us Canadian, also applies to the diversity of innovation, how we do things, how we create, how we execute, how we connect. We're all in that same sort of thing. We all have our, so that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think I'm a little ranting a bit, but you know what? The topic's Canada Day, so yeah, I'm proud Canadian. Hell yeah, in my own right. Everyone has their own definition of what makes them Canadian. My strength, I think, is as an artist, as a STEAM, right? Science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. The arts glues it together, brings it together. My strength is probably most likely, encourage the community here that within my capacity, within my circles, and also do what I can to be a spokesperson and represent, at least in my ability, an aspect of what it is to be Canadian for the international world to see. I part of my, like, I go and travel. I love to go to Japan. I love to go to Asia. I like to, part of the Indo-Pacific strategy, as they call it. But for me, it's always been like that. I've been always doing it. But I think part of it is like, yeah, here's some of the cool things that are coming out of Canada. Cool stuff that EEPMON's doing from Canada. Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah. Anyway, that's great. So here we are. But yeah, that's my little Canada Day spiel, and the Chinese Exclusion Act discussion, which is very important. We must not forget about that, and we must move forward together, progress together, prosper together, heal together, and higher and higher together. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, it's getting late, and I hope you enjoyed my talk. And if you want to leave a comment or whatever, or please have any questions, let me know. And please subscribe if you like what I had to say, and if you feel that it has some meaning and relatable or whatnot or whatever. Just subscribe, let your friends know, join the late night channel Eeps, because it's gonna get more interesting. I think it's gonna be episode 50 tomorrow. Oh my god! So, but I definitely want to do interviews. Like I said, I have friends who are like just really amazing and really talented. I have friends from all over the world that I would love to interview and do a little late night channel Eeps interview sessions with some great people. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, have a great evening, a great afternoon, and a good morning wherever you are in the world. This is the Late Night Channel Eeps, episode 49. Until tomorrow, goodbye.